Okay, this is now the Way of Astrology, step 3. And the most important thing to remember is a chart doesn't tell you anything until you ask it a question. People will look at a chart and they'll begin with an aspect, or they'll begin with something they're familiar with. But really, you need to have a question. And a question isn't, what does Saturn square Neptune mean? You need to ask a question, or if you begin with a question about a particular area of the individual's life, that's what a chart will answer. That's what the information it will give you. And I began this way last week, or last time, with Emma Watson, with 27 Virgo rising. And step 1 was we want to know about the self of the individual. And we can know that when we've got a reasonably accurate time of birth. And I suggested that you get a number of charts, 5, 10, 50, 100. And how you learn astrology is you look at, for instance, the sign on the ascendant, the rising sign, and you study what it means for that individual. Now, I don't know Emma, and probably you don't know her. You've never met her in person. So we can only get a certain amount from articles or interviews that she makes, or interviews with people who know her. But work this way first. Look at the rising sign, or choose a particular area of life, because you could take the 7th house, which is the house of marriage, and get a number of charts of people who married, a number of charts of people who married and divorced, and the chart will show why they got married and why they divorced. And then you get people who don't get married, and the chart will show that as well. So you're looking at the horoscope to know what's going to happen in the individual's life, and the chart will explain how and why. So with Emma, we've got 27 Virgo rising. So step 1 is the sign on the cusp. Virgo's I analyze. She's in life to analyze herself. And how does she do it? Through other people's opinions, because the 8th is other people's values. And the ruler of the first, the self, is in the house of other people's opinions. So by looking at the house position of the ruler, you get an idea of how different areas of life are connected. But there's more. There's always going to be more. Because this 27 Virgo is actually the Taurus decanate of Virgo. And Taurus, you may or may not know, is ruled by Venus. And Venus, Emma has Venus at 9 degrees of Pisces in the 6th house. So how does she analyze herself? Partly through other people's opinions, but also through the services that she's meant to perform in life. Because the ruler of the first, or the co-ruler of the first, is in the 6th. And the 6th is the house of sickness and service. And it's also the 3rd from the 4th, how the father communicates, and so on. But we'll keep it as 1 of 12 at the moment. So she learns about, or she analyzes herself through the work that she does. And because Venus is in Pisces, a kind of idealistic sign, this can be why she is the UN ambassador or UN special spokesperson for women's rights and equality and so on. So there's a kind of idealistic streak in the work that she does. So this is step 2. There's a sign on a cusp, and we want to look at the sign ruler, and we also want to look at the sign of the decanate, the ruler of the decanate. So with that in mind, you get 3 triangles. If we do Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the 3 fire signs, you probably know. If you don't already know these and you're familiar with them, you usually have to become familiar with them. So you can glance at this and immediately know it's Aries, and it's ruled by Mars and all the rest of it. So this is the order the sequence of the fire signs: Aries followed by Leo, Leo followed by Sagittarius, Sagittarius followed by Aries. So what we begin with 30 degrees in any sign, right? 0, 10, and 20 degrees. So the first decanate, first 10 degree portion is the same as the sign. So the first decanate, Aries, is Aries. The second decanate is the next fire sign, Leo. The third decanate is the next fire sign, Sagittarius. Then we do Leo, for instance. So first decanate, Leo, is Leo. Second decanate is the next fire sign, Sagittarius. And third decanate is Aries. And then for Sagittarius here, we've got the first decanate is always the same as the sign, Sagittarius, then Aries, then Leo. And that's how you divide up any sign into decanates. So if you can go through this for yourself, and we've got, I'll just do a couple of quick diagrams here. And we've got Taurus, the next earth sign is Virgo, and the next earth sign is Capricorn. And it goes like this. And then we have Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, the air signs. And then we've got Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And we go this way. So if we want to look at Emma's Venus, Venus at 9 degrees of Pisces, that would be in the Pisces decanate of Pisces, because it's before 10 degrees. So this Venus in Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, ruling Pisces. So you take some time for yourself, and you get maybe a separate sheet of paper for each of these decanates. So if we look at Taurus, we've got Taurus, 0, 10, 20, and 30. First decanate Taurus is Taurus. So Taurus is a farmer, okay? And the next is Virgo. And Virgo is a teacher. And third is Capricorn, the social climber. So that means that Emma, because she's in this portion, the third decanate, I'm doing a Taurus here. I meant to do Virgo. So first decanate Virgo is Virgo, the farmer, the teacher who's a teacher. Second dec is Virgo Capricorn, the teacher, because it's Virgo, who is also a social climber. So this can be somebody who, it's maybe the person who wants to get promoted to the head of department, thinking of the teacher and idea. But also, the middle part of Virgo is a teacher, and they're interested in passing on information and showing people the right way to do things. But they've also got an ambitious streak in them that the first decanate doesn't have. And the third decanate, where Emma is the Taurus decanate. So she's a teacher, but she's also a farmer. And so she's interested in, or she's able to plant crops and plant seeds and look after them until they germinate and until they bear fruit. So she's got a patience that maybe the first decanate and second decanate don't have, because the middle part is ambitious. The third part is more easygoing or more laid back, maybe because it's Venus. So if we go back to Emma, who is the self of this Emma Watson? She's partly Mercury, a talker, but she's also Venus, good looking, perhaps. So if we do one last thing, I'm going to give you some words for the different signs. And rather than agree or disagree with let me look at the time. Okay, rather than agree or disagree, think about them for a while, because a chart will tell you how a person is built and what they're actually like. So I'm going to say Aries is the child. Childish, childlike. So rather than think, no, Aries aren't like that, live with that idea and examine Aries people that you know or that you hear about and think, in what way or how much are they childish or childlike? And I'll come back to this in step 4. Leo is the king. In what way are Leos wanting to be in charge? And Sagittarius, the old philosopher. Okay, and then we've got Taurus, the farmer, Virgo, the teacher, and Capricorn, the social climber. And then we've got Gemini, the teenager, Libra, the social hostess, and Aquarius, the world server. They want to serve the world in some way. And last but not least, Cancer, the young mother. Not the mother, the young mother. Because Cancerians are young about what they're doing, and they can overdo, or they're not quite sure, so they overcompensate. And they often think they know what they're doing, but they don't really. So Cancer, Scorpio. I'm going to say Scorpio is the criminal. Not that all Scorpios ought to end up in jail, but it's a bit like, it gives you an idea of what the nature of the sign is like, or what we can expect from a sign of the zodiac. So you don't expect Cancerians ruled by the moon to be the same tomorrow as they were yesterday or as they are today. You expect that Scorpios are going to understand devious behavior and underhanded ability and tactics and underhanded activity. Not that they're going to go that route, but they know it's possible, and they know how they would maybe go about it. And last is Pisces, the world's savior. They want to save the world. So I need to stop. If I'm doing this a bit at a time, if you want everything all at once, go to astrology-inaction.com. It's all available there. I mean, you can buy it, but you get 26 hours of instruction, and I go through everything that you need. So that's it. I'll be back for step 4. Okay, bye-bye.